The shed, my pride, my project. My retreat stood accused of being an unsightly structure. Their whispers carried a venomous certainty that demolition was inevitable. Neighbors peeked through curtains, half curious, half fearful, as the HOA snapped more photos, savoring their power. My hands clenched, the morning air thick with injustice. They thought I was just another helpless homeowner, trapped by their rules. But what they didn't know was that I'm the city inspector who approves every permit. Years earlier, I had worked endless nights poring over blueprints, walking half-lit construction sites, and stamping approvals that shaped this very city. My credentials weren't just paperwork. They were the backbone of neighborhoods. The shed I built wasn't reckless. It was crafted to code, with every measurement precise, every permit lawful. Inside, the cedar walls held tools from my late father, shelves built by my children, and the smell of pine shavings carried his memory. This shed wasn't Hustlumber. It was legacy. Yet the HOA, drunk on power, saw none of that. They issued their first formal threat: demolish the shed within 30 days, or face crushing daily fines. The clock had started, and my fight was no longer about wood and nailazette. Was about respect. The harassment escalated with a venom I could almost taste in the air. Letters littered my doorstep, ink smudged with urgency. The HOA demanded payments for unauthorized construction, each fine heavier than the last. Flyers slandering my name appeared in mailboxes, claims that I was lowering property values and setting a bad example. At night, I heard footsteps near my fence, followed by the hiss of spray paint staining the boards with crude threats. Even my children's laughter in the backyard was cut short by whispers of neighbors, scared of retaliation. The shed stood silent, its cedar scent now mingled with acrid paint fumes and the sharp sting of betrayal. Every board felt under siege. What would you do if your sanctuary was targeted like this? I knew patience was my weapon. Quietly, I gathered their notices, their forged fines, and the vandalized boards as evidence. I photographed every violation of procedure, every moment they overstepped their supposed authority. With my inspector's seal, I confirmed what I already knew. My shed met every city code. No violation existed, only harassment. I began reaching out discreetly to neighbors, showing them proof, reminding them of their own frustrations with the HOA. Whispers shifted. Local media sniffed a story. Soon calls buzzed from city offices, curious about this HOA's unchecked aggression. The tide was turning, and the shed that had been painted as a crime scene was becoming a rallying symbol. By the week's end, the HOA's smirk began to falter under the weight of exposure. The HOA, cornered but desperate, staged their boldest act. One morning I awoke to the grind of machinery contractors hired to tear down my shed without approval, without warrants, without law. They cut chains, poussed fences, and prepared to gut my property. But I was ready. With cameras rolling and city officials present, I stepped forward holding stamped permits and violation reports, this time against them. Their illegal trespass, their fraudulent fines, their misuse of funds, all laid bare in thick binders of evidence. Neighbors gathered, phones reset, recording every trembling word from the HOA president. The contractors froze, refusing to proceed under the threat of legal action. Justice was no longer a whisper, it was knocking on their door with the weight of the law. The fallout was swift and merciless. The HOA president resigned in disgrace, her once firm voice now a stammer under city investigation. Board members faced fines for embezzlement, their arrogance collapsing into public humiliation. The smear flyers stopped, the vandalism ended, and my shed stood untouched now, a symbol of resistance and truth. Neighbors cheered as permits and papers confirmed what I had known all along. I wasn't breaking the law, they were. The scent of cedar once again filled the air, no longer tainted by fear, but by freedom. Families returned to their yards, laughter restored, community healed. As the sun dipped beyond the rooftops, golden light bathed my shed like a quiet victory. Have you ever faced an HOA nightmare like this? Share your story and don't forget to subscribe.